Doug, how are you today?
I am great. How are you?
I noticed you have the Bellevue University shirt on. That's what we're
University.
talking about today. We're talking about Bellevue University. So tell me a little bit about what you do at Bellevue University. Let's start there.
So I am the director of the undergraduate advising team.
Okay.
I work with 14 student coaches, and we have 2 assistant directors. Our student coaches work with students from the time they're enrolled until the time they graduate.
I notice you use the term student coaches,
Student coach.
not advisors. Because when I think of an advisor, I think about my collegiate experience, which was I met with my advisor. Let's see, in 5 years, I met with him probably 5 times.
5 times.
Talk about my schedule for the year, what I needed to graduate.
Yep.
Is that the experience that I would get at Bellevue University?
No.
Okay, so the name, just other than the name, tell me about the differences.
The name is different. So your faculty, was it a faculty advisor?
Yes.
So that person was teaching in a program,
Right.
teaching in a department, and they were advising students within that major. Correct?
That's exactly how it happens. Exactly.
What that model is, and that's a typical model for higher education. You've got a faculty member who is asked to do multiple things, teach, but also advise. Bellevue University doesn't do that. We have dedicated academic advisors. We call them student coaches. So as a dedicated academic advisor, my advisors advise all programs in all majors. Wow. So when a student comes into Bellevue University, and you'll talk to Charles a little bit later on this, they work with an admissions counselor. So admissions talks to them and says, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to do for your career? What do you want to do for your goals? That admissions counselor is going to say, okay, so you're thinking about this, you're thinking about this major. They're going to help you get all your transcripts in. They're going to help you get your academic advisement report or your degree audit squared away. They're going to help you get all your finances lined up. They're going to help you get your FAFSA in, get everything squared away, and they're going to enroll you in that class. And then at that point in time, you're assigned a dedicated student coach. That's my people.
Yeah.
So the dedicated student coach is going to reach out to you and call you and say, hey, Billy, what's going on? Why did you come to Bellevue University? They're going to ask you that. And then they're going to say, what's your goals? What do you want to do with this degree? More in depth. It's more in depth than just the, hey, you're the advisor.
Right.
It's proactive outreach as well.
So what are the differences, like right off the bat, what are the differences that you see in that model? Because I would think an online learner, right? I'm probably going to be very intimidated by the fact that everything is going to be online. I'm going to have a million questions, and you've already set that aside.
Yep.
You know, you're already addressing that for me. What are the differences that you see academically with that model as opposed to the I meet with my advisor once a year?
So we're going to be proactive.
Yeah.
So we're going to call you when you're enrolled in classes. Hey, I'm your dedicated student coach. And then my coaches have expectations. I expect them to reach out to a student at least once a term just to check in. Hey, how you doing with class? How's classes going? Are you registered for the next term? How are you on your degree plan? Do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns? Have any challenges with writing? You know, we've got resources for you. Writing Center. Are you having problems with the class? We have the Tutoring Center. Are you having problems in areas? It's more proactive because the coach is going to call you and email you. It's not your faculty advisor who's just going to sit back and go, right. I'm working on my classes, and if you call me as a student, I might help you. No, my coach is dedicated to being an academic advisor or a student coach.
I'm finding it interesting the accountability that everybody's kind of talking about. The accountability on your end, not necessarily on a student's end. I mean, can you talk a little bit about that? Is that just the entire culture of Bellevue University where you know, just give me a little bit about that. I'm noticing that as a theme. That
it is the culture because we know that those students that come to Bellevue University, they're not your typical 18 to 24-year-olds.
Right.
I've got a daughter in college. I've got 2 daughters in college. They have faculty advisors. They have to reach out to that person to get service. My students at Bellevue University, I know that they're adult learners. They may have taken classes 5, 10, 15 years ago. They're coming back to get that degree, but they're focused. They want that degree for a reason because it might be tied to a promotion or it might be tied to a goal that they have. So my coach is going to reach out to them often and they're going to say, hey, how's everything going? How are you doing in Blackboard, our online learning solution? Everything okay? Got any questions?
Yeah.
Proactive. They're going to reach out to the student as opposed to the coach sitting back and saying, you know what? I'm just going to sit here and wait for the phone.
I'd already like you coaching my team. Look at you. I mean, I love that.
This is what we.
I dig that. I mean,
we've had this coaching model for 10 years. I mean, we've refined it over the course of 10 years.
Let's talk a little bit about that because the current world that we're living in. We're seeing that people are scrambling to figure out the online learning. For example, my kids are in a public school system, and the teachers are like, we have no idea what to do here. You're seeing major universities from across this country try to scramble to do it, having no idea to do it. You guys have been doing it for a month or two? How long have you guys?
No, we've been in that online format for probably 20 years.
Right.
With our coaching model right now, we've been doing that for the past 10 years. So we know what it's like to have a student who's anxious about classes online. We know the kind of questions to ask. We know, okay, here's how you log into the system. Our coaches can walk them through that. Hey, you're having trouble getting in touch with your faculty member. Here's the phone number. Here's the email. Reach out to them. If you need some help, let me know. I'll reach out to them too. We'll get you guys connected and go.
Yeah.
So we've been working on this for a long time. Yeah.
Expertise for sure. Give me your biggest success story that you've seen at Bellevue University. Something that you think about. It's like, this is why I do what I do. This is why I want to keep doing what I'm doing. This is why I love being a part of Bellevue University.
People ask me why I stay there, and I tell them all the time, it's the people. It's the people that we have on our teams. See the dedication that we have. Every one of my coaches, you have to have a bachelor's degree just to get your foot in the door at Bellevue University. So that's how I do it. Most of my coaches have master's degrees as well. Yeah. A lot of them have done that online. So they know what it's like to go online and to take the classes online and to struggle through that and to battle through that and to get through that. The coaches, to watch them at graduation, like we ask our teams to volunteer at graduation. Yeah. And they always love doing it because they see the students, maybe for the first time at graduation, who they've worked with for 2-3 years. Wow. And that student comes up to the coach and goes, thank you. And it's oftentimes a big hug. And it's like, thank you. I couldn't have done this without you. And I appreciate, you helping me do this. It's a neat experience. Yeah. The team is amazing. We've got an amazing team in our department.
Just from your perspective and your position at Bellevue University, let's say I'm going to go back. I want to come back and get my master's degree. Okay. I'm frightened to do it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know, is anything going to transfer? Just make me feel comfortable. I mean, I'm that person's there watching right now. Like, hey, I'm checking this out. I'm this, I'm not stupid, but you know what I mean? Make me feel comfortable about it. Sell Bellevue University to me from your perspective. As somebody that's been there, you've seen what happens. Not a sales pitch that you've heard before. I mean, why should I go there? Why would it be important for somebody like me to go to Bellevue University?
I would tell you, first off, go to our website and look around and get a sense of what programs interest you. And then I would say, call the university, give us a call, or you can fill out an online application and someone will call you, usually that day. Ask your questions. Right. What do you want to do? What's your goal with the degree? Where do you want to be? Not next year, not the year after. Tell me where you want to be 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. Then that's where we can help you get there. So if you want to do business, MBA, all right, think about MBA. That's what the admissions counselor will talk to you about. Where do you want to be and what program will help you get there? And it's not, we're not trying to push you to a certain program. Right. We want to know where you want to go. That's the thing, real learning for real life. Where do you want to go? Okay, you want to go into MBA? Great. They'll get you into that. They'll get you lined up and ready to go. And then that coach will come on once you're enrolled, and they'll help you get from enrolled as a student to degree complete. That's the thing. That's what we do. Let's say that you talk to me. We go down this path. We have a conversation, and it's not right. I definitely want to do it, but that I'm not going to. That it might not be right for me. Okay. Why won't it be right for you? What's your apprehensions with this? What are your concerns? Maybe I'm the type of learner that would for sure need to be in front of a professor, kind of the sage on the stage type of situation. That's something I'm used to. It's that's how I started kindergarten through a degree. Okay. Am I still going to Bellevue University, or are there ways that you would be able to massage me there? I don't know. I'm not sure what the right words would be, but we have options for that. So we have 3 learning models that we work with at Bellevue University. We have obviously the traditional classes. So we have classes on campus. You can walk to campus. You can sit in the class. And that can be you will be right in front of the instructor. Wow. I mean, that's your traditional classroom. Yeah. We obviously have the online learning format where you're online. You're doing all of your information online. You're submitting your classes. You're submitting your assignments. You're doing maybe discussion boards online. Yeah. We also have what's called connected learning. So connected learning is something we're just getting into. We're piloting the programs. So what we have is you've got a faculty member with a classroom of students. They're actually at Bellevue University. They are there physically in the room. But we've also got cameras around the room, and students can connect in from remotely. So
If that's my thing.
that's your
Then
thing.
I'm
So
in.
if that's your thing, then what you would do is maybe you want to be in the business program, MBA. So you live in Chicago and you want to take classes with Bellevue University. Well, you can't drive to Omaha, Bellevue. You can't get that.
Right.
But you can connect in. So what you would do is you would connect and figure out what class is connected learning. You're going to take your MBA class. It's Tuesday nights from 6 to 10. So what you would do is at your home in Chicago, you would log onto your computer, you would set up your webcam, and you would connect in at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays. Your faculty member would be at Bellevue University. They would open up the classroom. They would be standing there talking. There would be students in the classroom, but you would also be virtually connected to that. So then the faculty member saying, hey, Billy, answer the question for me, or what questions do you have? That's the connected learning component. And that'll grow. I mean, that'll grow.
Yeah.
We're excited about that.
So there is something for every type of learner.
There's something for every type of learner. We have students who come right out of high school that come to Bellevue University, like first year, freshmen, 0 credit hours. And we've got students who come back. I've had students in their 70s and 80s come back and say, hey, I want to finish my degree. Help me get there.
You obviously enjoy what you're doing. I can feel it. I can see it. I know that you do. What are the challenges that you experience in your position working with people whose job it is to make sure that everybody's getting through the program the right way and staying engaged? What are the biggest challenges for you, or that you see?
I think the challenges we see is when my coaches are reaching out to students and the student's not getting back to the coach. The coach, the expectation is I want them to reach the student on a consistent basis. You're connecting with them, just to say hi.
Yeah.
You're connecting with them. If they aren't registered in classes the next term, my coach is going to give them a call and they're going to drop them an email, and they might shoot them a text as well. Or we might set up a Zoom session. I think the frustrating part for me is when a student doesn't reach out to my coach, and then the student gets farther along in their classes and they'll call that coach and say, I'm having trouble.
Right.
And it's 4 weeks into the term, 5 weeks into the term. And the coach just goes, if you'd only connected with me earlier, respond back. Let me know. I can help you. I got resources for you. But even then, we've got resources to help them out. Yeah, we do.
That engagement on both ends. Yeah.
Engagement on both ends. The coach is going to reach out, but the student's got to come back to him.
Do you like it? Do you live in Bellevue?
I actually live past Bennington.
Oh, past Bennington.
So I've got a little bit of a drive to get to work, but I've been there 10 years now. It's
The
outstanding.
future of online learning, now that we're seeing some school systems now forced to go into it.
Yes.
What do you think the future will be from your perspective? I mean, how do you see online learning growing? Is it going to be, are some school systems going to go entirely to it? What do you think? I mean, from your perspective, what do you think?
I think a lot of schools are going to offer it as an option. I think schools are going to have to figure out ways to make that work.
Yeah.
I think schools are probably going to be playing a little bit of catch up to what Bellevue University has been doing for 20 years now.
Right.
We've got those online resources, like our library is outstanding. Our writing center is outstanding. We've got a tutoring center as well that's outstanding. They can do that for students face-to-face, but they can also do that for students who are online or connected learning. We've got some great resources for them. We have the Bruin Support Center, our one-stop area that students can get assistance with technical problems, or they can call and say, hey, I've got problems with my finances. They'll get them connected to financial aid. So the one-stop support center is great.
I mean, that's definitely important to think about, because you're seeing people scramble and they're just putting a teacher in front of a camera, like, here I am. But you guys are set up in so many different ways, and just the support system alone, that who's going to have that? I mean, at this point, when you're scrambling, it's not, those advisors are going to be like, just take my class and we'll talk on Zoom after. Yeah.
When we ran into this situation, the coaches looked at me and said, well, what do we do differently? And I said, you don't do anything differently.
Nothing.
We've been doing this for years. You know exactly what to do. And they were great. It was a very smooth transition. They knew exactly what they needed to do. We got them all working from home. We got them connected in. So my coaches, they're at home. They remote into their laptop or they remote into their desktop at work. They've got their phone. So when you dial your coach at Bellevue University, it rings on their computer at home and it looks like seamless. Like it looks like they're just working there.
This situation, if there was a scramble at Bellevue University, it's okay. Well,
the only scramble we had was getting people enough laptops to go home and work.
Right.
And that was no problem at all. Right. Like I had them squared away within a couple of days.
Start to finish, they come to you.
They come to us.
No matter what their path is, the ultimate goal for all your coaches is graduation.
Help that student graduate.
Help that student graduate.
Help that student graduate. We've got to get them across the finish line. We want them to be conferred. We want them to finish at Bellevue University. We want them to earn their degree, and we want them to achieve their goals.